Hi, One SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's week 13 in college football. A lot of very interesting games going on, a lot of high-profile games that are interesting from a fan perspective. A lot of sharp action has come in on some of the more minor games this week. And right now we are going to talk with Chris Andrews from AgainstTheNumber.com to get his thoughts on possible betting value on three late week lines. Right now it's Friday afternoon. Chris Andrews from AgainstTheNumber.com. Thanks for being back with us. What's the first game you'd like to discuss with us?
Well, Peter, first game I want to talk about is Illinois against Northwestern. I have Illinois in this one. I took plus 3.5. I think that if you look at Northwestern, they're averaging a little more than 20 points a game. Not the team you want to bet as a favorite, even though it's a little bit of a short price, plus 3.5. I think Illinois has shown that they can hang in there with a lot of good teams. Game means a lot to Illinois. They need this for a sixth win, make them bowl eligible. Northwestern really has played very well. They're kind of locked into the number 2 spot in their half of the conference. I think they're a very good team, but not a good team to bet as a favorite. Keyshawn Vaughn, the good running back for Illinois, will be back this week. He's going to be a big addition to that team. Like I said, just a good, solid team with a lot to play for, in-state rival. I think a little bit more incentive, and really, even without the incentive, I think a good, solid defensive team. I think this game goes to the wire. I'm going to take the 3.5 points.
All right, sounds great to me. And looking at SBRodds.com, the Greek appears to have a lean agreeing with you towards Illinois at plus 3.5. Chris Andrews, what's the second game you'd like to discuss with us?
Well, second game, I'm going with Stanford. And then again, I know a lot of the public's on Stanford, but I am too. I think right now you look at Notre Dame, and a lot of credit goes to Notre Dame for how they've played this season despite a lot of injuries. But this is not the kind of team that you want to play late in the season with anything resembling a depleted roster. And unfortunately, that is what Notre Dame has right now. I think Stanford still entertains some thoughts, whether it's realistic or not, but I think they entertain some thoughts of possibly getting into the Final Four of the college football tournament. This would be a huge game for them, regardless. And I know Notre Dame does have their own thoughts about getting into that tournament, but I think they're a little bit underhanded going out to the West Coast. Stanford, a strong team. Again, a little bit of a short price here. I'm seeing 3.5 mostly. That's what I played earlier in the week. I know there's some 4s around as well, but I like Stanford. Nice, solid team with a lot of strength on the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. And of course, you got Christian McCaffrey, a kid I think has a great chance to at least get to New York and maybe vie for the Heisman Trophy. But a very speedy player, and I think it's a bad matchup for Notre Dame this week.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I'm seeing -3, -120 at BetCris and JustBet as well. I previewed this game early in the week with a professional handicapper. We both said that we liked Stanford at 3.5. Everyone's in agreement here. Chris Andrews, what's your third game you'd like to bring up with us?
I'm going to go with Penn State plus the 10.5. I know it was 11 a little earlier in the week, but I think 10.5 is still a good play. The last I heard, Connor Cook is going to be a game-time decision, the quarterback for Michigan State. Even if he does play, I think Mark D'Antonio keeps him under wraps a little bit. They beat Ohio State with a very methodical game plan last week. I think they would try to do the same this week. I think they know they're probably better than Penn State, should win the game without opening up too much and exposing Cook to injury with the Big Ten championship coming the following week. Now, if it's not Cook, it's going to be one of the backups, and they played well last week. And if it is one of the backups, again, I think you're going to see a very conservative game plan. I think the game's going to be fairly low scoring.
Yeah.
Penn State has had its issues all season, but the defense has not really let them down. The defense has been very strong. I look for a defensive battle. And I think 10.5 points a little too much in this one.
Sounds good. And maybe you'd also lean under at 46.5, or would that be too low for you?
Yeah, it's hard to believe 46.5 is a low total anymore in college football, but I would lean under, I guess. But I'm not the biggest total guy. I kind of think it will probably go under that, though.
Chris Andrews from AgainstTheNumber.com. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Peter.